Yep, it's the Shane Toddcast. Of course it is. You know why? Because it's a Wednesday, and people all around the world associate even my podcast with Wednesday. You know, in even like place like Ecuador, people go, "What day is it?" And they go, "Oh, no, it's Tuesday yesterday. It's Toddcast Wednesday." You know, so thanks for joining me. I appreciate it. You could have been doing anything else. You know, you could have been out there looking for a new job. You could have been, putting up your Christmas tree if you're one of those horrible people who likes to do it at this time of year. Why are you doing that? You like it? People who have the big displays outside their houses. Weird to do that. I like to put my Christmas tree up probably around the 10th of December, and then I like to take it down on Boxing Day. I don't like people who, I'm just a Christmas person. Take this. What is it you're giving me? A personality. Alright? Have that. You know? I don't like people who illuminate the outside of their houses. And like it's funny, you know, look, Santa's legs are up in the air like he's stuck down your chimney. You know, I really don't like that, because sometimes I look at that and I'm like, hey, you know, that could be like a gay guy with like lit up trousers on, stuck genuinely in your chimney. Sometimes I pull over and I check to make sure it's not a real guy who's just got illuminated pants on. You know, that's happened before. I got a lot to talk about this week. I did my big shows. This week I did my big shows. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about some of the things that happened. But first of all, before we talk about anything else, I feel like I really want to get this off my chest. Why is it that whenever you let someone across the road, even if it's a zebra crossing, or like, you know, you let someone across the road, you know, you wave them across, that they do like a full sprint across the road? You know, someone's standing waiting, and then you go, yeah, go on ahead there. And then they put their hand up and wave, and then sprint across the road. But they weren't sprinting before, but they sprint across. Like, although he's gave me permission to cross the road, he might change his mind and run me over and kill me. What I'm saying is, major shout out to anyone I let across the road going forward. Just to let you know, you got nothing to worry about. If I have summoned you across the road, I'm not going to turn around and kill you. You know what I mean? You can cross the road at your own pace. Don't go too slow, because then I will run you over. But, you know, I'm just saying, you know, you've plenty of time. You've plenty of time. Also, anybody who doesn't give me a wee courtesy wave, even if it's a zebra crossing, I don't let you across the road, it's a lie. You know, you give that courtesy wave. You don't even have to look at me. You just give me the wee, oh, thank you, wee quick wave. Hate that. Hate people who drop cigarettes out of their car. You know, and what I do if I'm driving behind someone and they drop their cigarette out of the car, I flash. Hey, because you know what? Then they probably won't do it again. Alright, if you've been flashed by a Passat, you're statistically, if someone in a Passat flashes you because you drop a cigarette out of a window, you never do it again. You know? But I'm here in the studio. Was this light on last time?
No.
Mick Shagger just confirming that David Blowie himself every week it's just a different rock star sexual innuendo, but David Blowie is confirming that this light was not on next week, because what happened was we started the video podcast last week, the sponsorship money's rolled in. I said, get out there and deck this place out, and David Blowie has come back from IKEA with this bad boy right here, the illumination garden, we're calling this. The illumination garden of artificial plants. If you only listen to the audio version of this, you're missing out, because there is foliage here. Is that the right word for green stuff? Foliage. There's foliage here, and also he grows weed in the office, so no, he doesn't. But do give him a shout if you're interested in buying. I realised recently what sort of comedian I am. People go, what sort of comedian are you? You know, I realised what sort of comedian I am. I realised that this week I'm a drape guy. I'm a drape guy. And what I mean by that is, the Ulster Hall show sold out. Ah, shocker, right? You know, who would have thought it, eh? You know? No, they did. They sold out. And it was one of those ones where, after it sold out, alright mate, any tickets left? Still, no, that's not how it works. But I was really delighted that the show sold out. And then we added some little shows onto the end where I'm going to film my new show in a wee intimate setup in the Accidental Theatre in Belfast. Holds about 80 people. So I'm going to do 2 shows there. But while I'm doing... So basically, the promoters will say, because you're filming this, do you want like any stage props? Do you want to deck it out? A bit like David Blowie has done today. And I got back... This was last year when I was doing shows there. They said, you know, you're doing these wee Christmas shows in the Accidental Theatre, a wee tiny theatre beside Lavery's. Do you want any like props or anything? But I think they meant like, do you want like a mic stand? And I said, how about a gold drape? Like, get me a gold curtain, please. And the guy was like, oh, we don't really have one of those. And I was like, outsource. Get me a gold velvet curtain. And they got it. And genuinely, it was more expensive than putting on the show. You know, my gold curtain was dearer than renting the venue. And I don't regret that in any way. It had to be sent from somewhere, you know, in Eastern Europe. You know, some Ukrainian kids had to work double time around Christmas to get me it last year, but I got it. And I know what sort of comedian I am, because this time around, the promoter got on to me and he said, the email subject was 2018 drapes. And he said, just getting in touch, I'm wondering what your annual drape requests are. You know, because they bought that gold drape for me. He was like, do you want to just use the gold one again? And I said, you don't know how I play the drape game. We're changing it every year. David Blowie, changes. And that's a decent boy. I said, you get me a red drape this year. And the email back just said, no problem, darling. So I'm happy. Do you hear that siren out there? Sounds like shit's going down. This time of year, a lot of people steal things because it's coming up to Christmas. I was once outside W.H. Smith in Royal Avenue in Belfast with some friends from Tech, back when I went to Tech. And if you aren't from this part of the world and you go, what's Tech? It's for uni. It's like uni for people who are too cool for uni and also didn't get in. And we're outside this W.H. Smith back in the day, just me and all these guys that I went to Tech with from all different backgrounds, all different shapes and sizes. And we're outside W.H. Smith. And then this smick comes up to us and goes, well, we didn't know him or anything, and he goes, do you just want to see a magic trick? And we're all like, no. Well, I probably said yeah, because he was hard. And he walked into W.H. Smith, comes out about 20 seconds later with about 90 copies of like the latest Harry Potter film. This was like 10 years ago, all under his arm. And he goes, see ya, abracadabra, and just disappeared up the street. And I felt like going, I was thinking like, that's not magic, man. That's just theft. But then I think at the time I applauded him and stuff, you know, and like threw roses at him because I was scared of him. But I've got the drape sorted, you know, so if you're coming to the shows in the Accidental Theatre, you can get tickets on shine.net. Just know that the drape game is going to be strong. There's going to be a red drape up on stage. It's going to be delightful. I'm thinking about having some chandeliers put in. I'm thinking about a marble floor. I'm thinking about elephants, you know, like not real elephants, like crystal elephants with crystal inside. But that's what happens when people go, you can really have whatever you want at a venue. My mind runs wild. Because I learned, because back in the day I was doing a gig, me, Colin Geddes, Mickey Bartlett in Glasgow, and I don't know why, but I was kind of the go-between in the emails with the guy running it. And he goes, what do you guys want as a rider? And I said, we're probably like in our early 20s at the time. I was like, could we have water and a couple of cans of Coke and a beer each? And the guy was like, yeah. And I remember texting the lads and being like, guys, we just got the hookup. You know, there's a bottle of River Rock back there for each of us. And we thought this was great. We had our own backstage. And then we got there and we were speaking to the guy running it. And he goes, your backstage demands weren't too bad, lads. And we were like, I was like, that was okay, was it? And he goes, yeah, because the guy DJing before you the night before as part of this freshers program wanted 10 bottles of vodka and hotel rooms for 6 of his mates. And I was like, you got my Pepsi? You know, I was like, not too much trouble. So now I just go flat out. Now I'm like, yeah, could I get smoked salmon? And make sure make sure it was caught in the River Bann, you know, and make sure it's a female salmon. And make sure Paul Rankin cooks it. Now, do you know what? I'm a liar. I just bitch out because you submit a rider and then the venue tells you how much that's going to cost. And all I wanted this year for the Ulster Hall shows was fruit and water. And we got the bill and I was like, you know what? I'll get it myself. And I just think that sort of takes the shine off doing the big Ulster Hall 2 sold out nights. You know, the fact that if you were in the wee Tesco's on the Dublin Road an hour and a half before the show, you just see me just stocking up buying my own water. You know, and Elvis wasn't doing that in Vegas before his residency shows. You know, Elvis wasn't on the Las Vegas Strip buying water and polo mints for his mates. You know? I did sort of get the hook up on one thing before the Ulster Hall shows, which were Friday and Saturday there. And that was at Nando's. I've got a contact in Dublin Road Nando's. I went there on the Friday night. It was packed out. Loads of people that were going to the show. And I said, hey, could we get a table for 3? And the girl said, it's going to be a 20-minute wait. And I was fuming. I said, excuse me. Right, back in the day, if Jesus was just about to heal a load of lepers and he was absolutely starving beforehand and he just wanted to get like a sandwich and he walked into a wee deli in Jerusalem or Bethlehem or wherever he lived, you wouldn't go, oh, sorry, Jesus, mate, half an hour, take a seat. You would get Jesus a seat and his apostles. So the next night I remembered that I knew someone that works in Nando's in the Dublin Road. I sent a Facebook message. Some people might go, you shouldn't do that, it's rude. Nah. Send a message. I said, hey, I know you guys don't do reservations, but something's come up. You know, tonight that changes. Let's flip the script. Let's change the policy. Let's rip up the rule book. And I got sorted. So if people go, oh, is it possible to reserve a table on Nando's? Nope. But when you're with me, I'm a respected mafia figure walking in there. You know, I got a booth. I said to Aaron Butler and Dave Elliott, who I was with, and Connor Keys, you know, the guy said, why should I just give you a table? And I said, I'll make you an offer you can refuse. And he said, what's wrong with your throat? And I was like, no, I'm going to make you an offer you can refuse. And he said, all right, what is it? And I was like, I'll give you a ticket to the show. I'll give you a ticket to the show. And that was enough, but I got the hookup. And I gotta say, Friday and Saturday at the Ulster Hall, they're the 2 biggest shows in my calendar year. And I couldn't have had a gayer time. And I mean that in the old sense of the word and a little bit in the new sense. You know? I loved it. It was so good because it sounded like I was going to cry there, but I wasn't. This podcast is an hour long, 27 minutes, just me crying. But no, it was so enjoyable because the nerves are so bad for Ulster Hall, so bad. They're so bad that I ironed a shirt I knew I wasn't going to wear 20 minutes before the show just to take my mind off doing the show. I was like, Mummy, I'll do some ironing here. And I was looking for one of my boys to do it for me, like Aaron Butler or someone, but he didn't do it. And also, although I did, I bought a stage shirt, right? I was in All Saints, the shop, not the band, about a year ago when I booked the new dates for Ulster Hall. And I saw this shirt and it just said to me, hello, darling. You know, the shirt said, And I looked at the shirt and I said, I think we might be a match made in heaven. And then I didn't buy it at the time because it was 90 quid. And I just decided I'll leave it. And then a couple of months later I regretted it, went to buy it, it wasn't there. I had to phone All Saints, the shop, not the band. And I said, you know, because I don't even think the band nowadays would have the connections to get you. You know, I think if you phoned, you know, like one of those lads that was in All Saints band said, can you get me a shirt from All Saints? I think if that was the late 90s, that works 10 out of 10 times, you know, because they would have the power to be able to get you. They'd have the money. Plus, they could make it banter out of that, you know. Oh, it's What one of the people? Shaznay. You know, obviously I'm going to remember the name Shaznay. Why are you looking at me like you don't remember the name Shaznay from All Saints? Yeah, Shaznay was the black member of the All Saints.
Fair enough.
But today's trivia for you.
You also said all the lads.
Yeah, all the lads. Oh, what? So girls can't be. Oh, so David Blowie's saying girls can't be called lads. Look, I mean lads as in like having a good time. Like, oh, you know, there's the lad. You know, you could say that for anyone. You you prefer I say dolly birds, would you? Oh, that's what he's all about. Dolly bird sorts. David Blowie drives a white van and reads a Daily Sport. Oh yeah, you know, and works on building sites for free just so he can get involved in that banter, you know. But I just mean like back in the day, I'd say if you'd phoned Shaznay from the All Saints and said, "There's this shirt I really want, but they're not selling it anymore," I think she would be able to ring up All Saints, get her manager to get their number, phone them up and say, "It's Shaznay from All Saints calling All Saints." They'd laugh at that, and then she'd be like, "Can you get this shirt for this, you know, great comedian?" And she'd be able to get it. But nowadays, I don't even think they could. But I phoned up All Saints, and they sent an Asian boy down to the sweatshop to look through the back catalogue, and he came back and he said, you know, basically the man from Del Monte said yes, and I got the shirt at a discount price because it wasn't on sale anymore because no one bought it. With hindsight, no one bought it because it's shit. I thought this shirt was great. It was Messiah like, you know, it was like a long flowing blouse, if anything. It was black with like little brown stripes. I looked like I was in Narcos, but I wasn't one of the respected guys. But like it looked like I was fucking one of the more flamboyant guys from Narcos. You know, like it looked like one of the drug lords. Like had a thing for younger boys, even though I'm 30, which is weird. But say he's 55, it looked like I would be his little lover. You know, so I wore that and I walked into my own changing room where there was some of my so-called friends, and I said, "Here we go, guys. What do you think?" And they also said, "Is there an iron here? Get that other shirt out of your bag." So I just had to wear the shirt that I've been wearing all tour. And to be honest, I felt more comfortable in it. The other one was absolutely ridiculous. Shows were great. Friday night, lovely, really enjoyable. I thought I couldn't have enjoyed that anymore. Saturday, oh shit. I decided on Saturday I'm going to walk off at the end and come back on for an encore. R.I.P. Chester Bennington. But here's the thing. When I did that, whenever I walked off stage, for like 3 seconds, out of the 1,000 people there, I'd say 6 people left. Because no matter how good a comedian you are, you're always at the mercy of the Ulster Bank or the Ulster bus timetable. You know, there's always people who are like, some show mate, but I've got to get the bus back to Macrofelt here. You know, so some people didn't see that encore, but I Saturday was one of my most enjoyable shows that I've ever done. I think because of the nerves as well, because the nerves for Ulster Hall are so bad. You know, you get so nervous, and when it goes well, it's so great. And I think it went well. You know, I got a stand ovation the Friday night as well, but that was more like after I was off stage. You know, it was like 10 minutes later. There was a lot of people on their feet. I mean, they were on their feet to walk out of the doors, but it still counts. But on Saturday, you know, that ripple happened. People on their feet, people throwing roses. You know, I was autographing babies. You know, people passing up their firstborn babies saying like, "Oh, Messiah, take this." And I was like, "No, look after your own baby," you know. So really enjoyed it. Really enjoyed it. After the show, everyone's like, "You going for pints, mate?" And it's way easier for me to just say yes. I go, "Yeah, I'm on it, mate. I'm on it." And then I just have one drink and I go home to try and catch match of the day. And I did do that. I actually got a McDonald's on the way home. F it. F it. I saw McDonald's and I went, F it. Should I be eating at this? Hey, it's 11:15. F it. Am I getting a Big Mac here or 6 nuggets? F it, both. F it. Did I turned my lights off driving home. Turned my car lights off driving home. F it. You know, I took my shirt off and just drove home the way God made me. Great. Shows are great. Love it whenever you're 10 minutes away from about to walk on stage, someone messages it on Instagram. How long are you going to be on for, mate? Shush. Absolutely shush. But it was good. And then I left my notebook. I left my notebook backstage at the Ulster Hall. And I got a Facebook message from a guy who works there. And he's like, mate, I'm clearing out... he messaged my Facebook comedy page. He's like, mate, I'm clearing out your dressing room here. You've left your wee notebook. Well, he actually said Shane has left it. Like, he said, like, to let you guys know. I think he thinks my social media is run by someone who is not me. To be fair, I say that. I'm like, we're putting on a few shows this year in the Ulster Hall. And what I mean by that is me. You know? But this guy didn't have to. He could have just threw it in the bin. It was my first ever comedy notebook. And I brought it because I wanted to keep my wee set list in place. I wanted to keep that paper nice and flat, so I put it in my first ever stand-up notebook. And then I left the notebook there, and I've been gutted to lose it. And this guy came and met me the next night out the back of the Ulster Hall. Didn't have to, on his own time. He wasn't even working that night. And he brought it from home. And to, the guy that did that, I just want to give you a doff of the cap. Say thank you very much. Hashtag had to give him a David Blowie. But it was all good. I didn't. I just said thank you very much. So yeah, anyone who came to the Ulster Hall, thank you very much. There'll be some photos up from the night, hopefully in the next couple of days. And we just go again next year. While we look at it and we see what do we want to do next year. Say we, I mean I. You know. Connor Keys killed it, doing support for me as always. And I got a couple shows left in the tour. This weekend I'm in Newcastle, Friday and Saturday in the Anchor Bar. The next Monday, Belfast Accidental Theatre. That's the one that's been filmed. You'll see my gorgeous red drape. And then the week after that, Lisburn, sold out. Derry, very nearly sold out in the Playhouse Theatre. So that's what it is. That's what time it is. Check your watch because it's bingo, you know. David Blowie, what did you say? But did you say bingo at the start of this?
Mick Jagger.
No, but what did you say at the start of this? Yeah, no, you David Blowie this week.
All right, okay.
What did you say at the start of this?
Bingo.
Bingo. I love that. No one really says that anymore. It's a real 90s thing. Do you want a pint? Bingo. You know, bingo was a real 90s thing. Last night, I wanted to just have a bit of downtime after the nerves of the Ulster Hall show. I wanted to just chill out, do something a bit laid back, and I went to see Bohemian Rhapsody featuring my man Freddie Mercury. And for anyone who hasn't seen it, I don't think it's a very good film, but the guy who plays Freddie Mercury is absolutely brilliant. And the music is so good. I just don't know about the actual film. Littlefinger was in it from Game of Thrones. He's in everything. You know, and I feel like he should have just been playing Littlefinger. Ah, Shansha. How do I find you today, Shansha? You Dutch? Maybe I am, but at the same time, maybe the next episode, my accent slightly different, Shansha. He actually didn't betray anyone in this, which is great, because anything I see him and he's betraying people. You know, and love-hate. He was mugging people off as well, but the film's really good. One criticism I have is a couple of weeks ago, we made a sketch called A Belfast Film about every film from Belfast and how the accents, when people are playing Northern Irish roles and they're not from Northern Ireland, the accents are so bad. In Bohemian Rhapsody, it's a contender for the worst. Let me say, I didn't know this, but there's a character in it from Northern Ireland, and he was like Freddie Mercury's manager's assistant, so he was sort of looking after Freddie Mercury back in the day. Didn't do a great job on a few counts, if you know what I mean. But he is supposed to be looking after Freddie Mercury, right? And he comes on screen, and all you hear is, at one point, he tells Freddie that he's got like a drink left for him at a bar, and he's like, Freddie, I've got a drink for you at the bar, so I do. Freddie, there's a wee drink for you, so it is. And I just think that is ridiculous. Then, later in the film, there's a Northern Irish actor. That guy who was in Shameless from here plays the part of somebody who isn't from here. Definitely give him the part of the person who's supposed to be from here. You know, what they wouldn't do is, if the Elephant Man had decided, the actual original Elephant Man had decided to be an actor, and they wanted someone to play the part of, like, this. I'm just going to say it, right? Because I'm passionate about making a point. If they wanted someone to play a deformed guy, and the Elephant Man was an actor, and he went in for an audition for a different part in the film, or it's like if the Elephant Man went in, if the Elephant Man was an actor, right? John Merrick, the Elephant Man, they go, we're going to take you on tour, mate, doing freak shows at circuses. He goes, nah, I want to be an actor. And they're like, fair enough, I wouldn't. And he goes, nah, but I want to be. And they had a part for either a driver, that's all that's known about him, or a deformed guy. And he auditioned for the role of the driver. And there was like someone in the room going, why don't we just give him the deformed guy role? Because I don't like saying this, like it's not sly, but I think even the Elephant Man would agree that the Elephant Man was deformed, you know, and that's not me being cruel at all. I wouldn't say that if the Elephant Man was here. I wouldn't go, oh mate, you're deformed. But I think the Elephant Man would be reasonable enough to admit that he wouldn't have been fronting an Armani campaign. You know what I mean? I think he would admit, you know, his face wasn't much crack. You know? And that's like him getting a part in a film. And there is another part for a deformed guy, but he doesn't play the part of the deformed guy. You know, the Elephant Man plays Man in Lift too. You know, because if I'm in a lift with the Elephant Man, I've got some questions like, hey man, talk me through it. You know, I'd be like, hey man, what's an average day in the life like for you, player? You know, but respect. I would respect the Elephant Man for sure, because I think in real life I read somewhere that the Elephant Man wasn't like exploited. The Elephant Man was a businessman, like the £1 note. You know, his manager, it made it look like his manager like exploited him and poked fun at him. But at the like, I read this article, basically said the Elephant Man was just balling out. You know, the Elephant Man was like, let's make some cash money off this paper mache face. You know, I think the Elephant Man, like, you know, to hear the noise cha-ching, and he was putting himself forward for this stuff. You know, this kind of work. You know, his manager's probably like, oh, Elephant Man, I could get you a job like doing admin in an office. And the Elephant Man's like, I have a gift. You know, it's not a gift, but I got this face, you know, let's make some cash money off this. You know, and the Elephant Man was the one who was exploiting himself in a way. And I don't know much about the Elephant Man, but all I know is that genuinely the Elephant Man, the only things that were intact on the Elephant Man were his penis. That's true. He had a totally normal penis. And his left hand. So, you know how he was blowing off steam anyway. Fair play to him. This sip of peppermint tea for you, player. I know what the big guy was getting up to. One thing that is true is that when I watched the Elephant Man in film studies class, whenever I was at Tech, I thought that the Elephant Man was the Elephant Man because he was half elephant, half man, half element. You might think I stripped over my words there. I meant to say elephant, but instead said element. But that's not true. But yeah, I'm going to Google some facts about. See the Wi-Fi here. No, see the Wi-Fi here. In fact, don't worry about it. I'll just get on my phone. You don't need to see behind the scenes of what's going on here. Right. I'm just going straight in for Elephant Man facts, because I feel like I'm being ignorant here, and I feel like I need to, you know, educate myself and yourselves more about the Elephant Man. Do you know anything about the Elephant Man, David Blowie? No. He was born healthy. The Elephant Man was born healthy. I wonder, did like overnight, did that change? Did he like, you know, did he wake up one morning and walk down with a big head, and then he's like, hey, I don't feel great, and his mum and dad were like, yo dude, straight up, you don't look great, like we need to get you We need to get you some pseudo cream immediately or something. You know. At the age of 5, he started to change. His cranial structure changed. Oh man. His right arm became twisted and his hand contorted into a flipper-like appendage. Oh, sly. He attended school until the age of 11. Respect. His parents thought it must be related to the trauma his mother had experienced when she was pregnant. She had been kicked over by an elephant on a trip to the fairground. I was about to say, I thought that was a thing that I had picked up wrong. That can't be true. The Merricks thought it could be the only explanation for their son's face. You know, sometimes... I'm looking at the Elephant Man now. Sometimes if I party a couple of days in a row, I get a bit Elephant Man. You know, I can get a little bit puffy around the eyes. And during Merrick's time, medicine was not up to the specific standard of today. That's probably why. Like, people were probably just... You know, there probably could have been, like, drugs. We could have got John Merrick on pretty quick and sorted him out. But back then, people were probably like, oh, just rub a spot on your face, you know? People probably taking it real old school, like, oh, just say a prayer at the Holy Temple and run that off. And he's like, I can't. Look at my legs, you know? And with it, like, if he picked up pace with that head, you wouldn't have stopped him. That's sly. They didn't really have the medicine, you know? It causes extreme overgrowth, what he had in the bone, skin, and other organs. Hey, have a wee touch up myself, if you get me. If you know what I'm saying. I'm talking about my weird long fingers. Oh, man. Oh, I can't read out that fact. That's just sad. I mean, I get that most of these probably will be sad and won't be banter. You know? Merrick worked for his dad for a short time. Oh, he needed to make some money, so he used to make money rolling cigars. He had to stop a few years later when debilitating growth took over his right arm. Shit. He was employed in his father's haberdashery. I don't know what that is, but it sounds funny. Which sold notions? Men's clothing and accessories? Is notions not ideas? How far out's that? You go into the haberdashery and John Merrick's like, hey, half boy, half pig, what do you think? And then you go away just thinking about that all day. He was a door-to-door salesman. Oh, for God's sake, how long? It's going to take him... Even terraced housing is going to take him a long time to get from door to door. Which he found very dispiriting. Yeah, no shit. I would find door-to-door sale dispiriting. And I'm not the Elephant Man. Imagine you knock someone's door, you know, trying to sell them clothes. You're gonna get shit no matter what. If you have a head like a boulder, and you're the Elephant Man, you know, people are gonna give you a lot of abuse. He was once displayed in a shop window. In Ann Summers. It wasn't Ann Summers, but it'd be cool if it was, you know. He was described as half man, half elephant. Yeah, here's the thing. Someone said Merrick was treated with respect and earned plenty of money while he was with the freak show. This guy made sure that when you're with the freak show, you're in the money, you know. Although Merrick was in a better position than living on the street, his manager still profited more by keeping Merrick in the show. People began to lose interest and the police closed it down shortly afterward due to public decency. Oh, that's sly if, like, you're not able to do a show because of public decency. They're like, get him off there because of public decency. Unable to find income, Merrick travelled to Belgium to find work on a show there, which turned out to be a disaster. I don't know why that's funny to me, that, like, the Elephant Man was like, it's not working out for me here. Belgium? You know, he like, how did he even get there? It turned out to be a disaster. That sounds like it's written by, like, my mum or something. He went to Belgium, that turned out to be a bloody disaster. Doesn't even tell you what happened. Oh, it does. He was stranded in Europe for a year. When Merrick arrived in Belgium, he was met by a new promoter and a less enthusiastic crowd. Yeah, if you're the Elephant Man, you need the audience to be up for it for sure. Because you don't really have much to win them round with other than, you know, his head. You know, if you're not on board from the start, if you don't see the Elephant Man and go, whoa. If you come out and you're like, and what, mate? You know, the Elephant Man didn't have much up his sleeve. You know, it's not like he was busting out into some Cirque du Soleil stuff after that. You know, when the Elephant Man walked out, that was really as good as it got. Also, how long was his show? You know, I feel like if you went to see the Elephant Man, it was for 30 seconds. I feel like if you go to see the Elephant Man for an hour, it just didn't go anywhere. Merrick gained only mediocre success in the travelling shows. But who is better than the Elephant Man? Who did they have that was like... Maybe that boy George Sampson. Remember he won I think, the first Britain's Got Talent. The dancing boy. Maybe they had him. The Austrian robbed Merrick of his life savings, beat him, and ultimately abandoned him. Don't beat up the Elephant Man. Stranded and alone, Merrick wanted to get back to England. He found passage on a ship and made his way back to England in 1886. You know for a fact that when he was on that ship, he was probably like draped over the side, like everything hadn't gone well. You know, looking like the Elephant Man like he was. And someone probably went up to him and went, "You had some night last night, mate?" And the Elephant Man's like, "Nah, there's way more to it than that." During the voyage from Belgium, Merrick contracted a bronchial infection. Oh, for fuck's sake. The Elephant Man gets himself into some scrapes. When he arrived at the Liverpool Street station, people mobbed him due to his strangeness. With his speech unintelligible, Merrick was arrested and taken into custody for police. For what? Having a big head? If that was the case, I'd have been sentenced to death about a year ago. Here's another fun fact about him. Merrick enjoyed writing. His letters, he wrote letters. His letters often included a poem, which had particular relevance. One of John Merrick's poems goes as follows. "Lick it now, lick it good, lick this shit just like you should. My neck, my back, my pussy and my crack." Well, that's one thing I never knew about him. Here's fact 3, right? And I swear, I don't find any of this funny, and I know the listeners are probably like, "Hey, newsflash, neither do I." I'm not going to go into any more facts, right? I'm just going to read the headline out of fact 3, and I'm going to move on. Because it's so sad, because you got to leave it here when you hear this one. Merrick's own head killed him. Killed by his own head. Betrayed. Like, I like to think I can trust my own head, but the Elephant Man's own head killed him. I don't know how that happened, but shit one, you know. For sure, shit one. To be killed by your own head. Whoa. I think just to bring us back up, what we're going to do is we're going to look at significant events that happened in this day in history that I'm recording this, which is the 26th of November. I'm going to read some out. In the year 43 BC, there was an alliance of the Roman leader Octavian, later Caesar Augustus. That's way better, definitely changed. And well, I don't know what I prefer, Octavian or Caesar Augustus, because like Octavian sounds like he fucks, you know? Like Octavian is a guy who likes to fuck, you know? Octavian. Ugh. Like there's almost sweat on that name. Octavian. Oh, that's not. That's like a gladiator who just gets kicked out for just fucking too much. Octavian. You know, that's great. But Caesar Augustus sounds like a guy who turns up at a house party. You know, Caesar Augustus was definitely partying back in the day. You know, Caesar Augustus making sure everyone has a good time, keeps topping up their drinks. He wears that shirt that I tried to wear to the Ulster Hall show. For sure, Caesar Augustus would have worn that. Octavian's an aftershave I would like to have, but Octavian, Marcus Lepidus, and Mark Antony formed an alliance. Hey, Mark Antony's married Jennifer Lopez. What was he doing knocking about in the year 43 BC? Although Jennifer Lopez is quite old. Oh, there must have been like a Mark Antony in history, but there is also a Mark Antony who's like a Latin singer, and he sings this song that I liked back in the day. It was never mainstream in this part of the world, but it went like this. It went at the start of it went like this, and I, as a kid, I really liked it because like I was into like Latin thing, because I studied Latin in school, and I got a real Latin vibe on for like quite a few years. I was into anything Latin, and the start of the song went like this: "Baby, when I think about you, I don't need to think." You know, he did that. He was, I used to feel that. He was like, "I don't need to think, 'cause I just know." And the chorus went like this: "I could take a trip all around the world, and I could but why would I go anywhere when I got you?" And I did the Jew for quite a long time after that. You know, I wouldn't have said you. You know, if I was in a playground argument, someone slobbered at me, I'd say, "Fuck you." You know, I was saying that quite a lot because everyone just said you, so I'd be like, "Yeah, you're such a dick." You know, I would have said that, and that got me beat up quite a lot. But yeah, they formed an alliance. In 43 BC, it'd be very difficult to form an alliance. You know, it'd be hard to do anything, you know, because, you know, pretty sure there wasn't like Twitter or anything. I think MySpace was still knocking about, but it was like the early stages, so probably not everyone was on it. Like Caesar Augustus. Octavian was definitely on it, trying to like message girls. Caesar Augustus didn't have it. Marcus Lepidus sounds like he definitely didn't have it. He'd be on LinkedIn, and Mark Anthony just probably didn't. So I don't know what the alliance of... I don't understand that. British in 1778, British explorer Captain James Cook is the first European to visit Maui in the Sandwich Islands, which is now called Hawaii. Hawaii was called the Sandwich Islands. Hawaii is a fun name, right? I'll give you that. Like Hawaii, it was fun. It's definitely fun to say. I know there's a big meth problem there, so shout out to anyone battling meth in Hawaii. I'm sure Dog the Bounty Hunter's on your case, but the Sandwich Islands is... Sorry, there's refly on the screen. The Sandwich Islands is great. You know, I'm a big fan of the Sandwich Islands. I presume it's called that because the sandwich. Maybe somebody can let me know. The question for today obviously is, was the sandwich invented on Hawaii? That's the question today. Get in touch if you know the answer, folks. 1789, the first national Thanksgiving in America. Is Thanksgiving the one that's contentious because of Native Americans?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to say it, but you have. David Blowie there saying Americans are sly. I mean, it is sly. I only realised recently you don't say Native Indians, you know, because they're not. I don't think they are Indian anyway. I'm pretty sure Native Americans are like only from America. But they had red skin, so I think the first settlers called them Indians. I don't know. I know they don't like it, but I know they still lived in like big reserves, you know, like native reserves or whatever they're called, and it looks bleak there. Like, I've seen some documentaries about Native Americans, and they're not having a good time of it. So I feel like we bring them over here. We get some Native Americans over here. We put the arm around the shoulder and we say, "There's an Ulster Fry. Get involved, lads. Let's extend the hand of friendships." If you're Native American, you listen to this podcast, I'm giving you a major shout out. I'm thinking about you on today, which is Thanksgiving. And David Blowie's definitely thinking about it because oh my God, he's actually burning an American flag. Oh my God, that's too far. And now you don't want to know what he's doing to it now. Oh my God, pull those up. In 1865, Alice in Wonderland was published in America by Lewis Carroll. Don't know the story really. I wasn't really into that back in the day, you know, Alice in Wonderland and like crazy stories like that, you know, fairy tales. I wanted the real life stories, you know. I was more interested in hearing stories about like the guy in Hollywood from where I'm from who used to think that he was holding the sun up. You know, I like to hear stories about him. I think, let's just say my man had a bit of a Pritt stick problem. But I remember hearing stories about that guy who used to walk along the motorway and think he was holding up the sun. If that was the case, he was doing everyone a favour, give him a major shout out. You know, I don't know if he's still doing it, but I respected it. And like, I was into more stories like that. I wanted to hear stories about him. I didn't want to hear fairy tales. You know, I remember some of my friends were like, he beat up one of my friends. And I said, "What did you do to him?" My friend was like, "Nothing." I just called him like a glue sniffer and was throwing stones at him. And I was like, that's gonna piss someone off, especially that guy, because he's under constant pressure, literally holding up the sun. You know, he doesn't want to have to worry about 11-year-old boys. And then he threw my friend into the sea once. You know, I remember that story sticking out. Down Sea Park in Hollywood, he like grabbed my mate and he threw him into the sea. Not too far in, you know. He just like threw him into the water a bit, and then he threw his bike at him, you know. So they were the stories I preferred. You know, I liked hearing stories about like you know, back then. What other stories do I remember from back in the day along that sort of vibe? I definitely remember the story about someone I was friends with who went up in his roof space to find some old Star Wars figures because he heard that they were worth some money, and he fell through his roof space onto his own bed. What are the chances? Because it's a fairly big house, and he fell directly onto his own bed like he was some sort of top class stuntman. And as he fell on the bed, 3 porn magazines fell from the ceiling on top of him that his older brother had left there. And that was my favourite story of those days. And if that was me, if I was his dad and I came back, I'd be like, what are you, you know, I saw him there and I'd be like, you disgust me. You absolutely disgust me, my own son. Into Star Wars, what a nerd. Give me that hustler, you know. 1922, English archaeologist Howard Carter opens Tutankhamun's virtually intact tomb in Egypt. The thing with Tutankhamun is he was an ugly guy, you know, because you see all these like paintings of Tutankhamun and all these like statues of him, and he looks sweet in it. Like he really does. He looks like he's on like Made in Chelsea or something. But in real life, they did like through his bones they recreated Tutankhamun. And Shane, Google Tutankhamun real face. I just want to see your reaction to seeing his real face. How do you spell Tutankhamun? Tutankhamun. Yeah. Just Tutankhamun real face. Go to images. Yeah, he's not sweet, is he? he looks like he's on a darts team in Newton Ards, you know. And here's the thing. Yeah. Here's the thing. He was 21, you know, and that's Tutankhamun died when he was 21. Do you know what of? Being an ugly bastard. You know, that's how the man went. You know, sometimes in Egypt, if that was the case, if you were that ugly, because everyone in Egypt was beautiful, you just straight up died. Yeah, no, that's an Egyptian who's made that. He didn't look like that. That's some sort of 50s singer you just showed me. But yeah, Tutankhamun wasn't a sweet looking guy at all. And yeah, the only other thing I have is in 1983, the world's greatest bank robbery happened. £26 million worth of gold, diamonds and cash stolen from Brinksmat in Heathrow. Oh yeah, I remember that. That was that guy Ronnie Biggs. Shout out to him. He went on the run. I think he died not that long ago. He went to Brazil and just lived there. Fair play to him. I'm going to do listeners' questions now. So I've asked people on all the social medias to get in touch. And by the way, I think from next week we might have a podcast sponsor. Yeah. David Blowie's happy about that. Because at the minute, he's just giving up his time for sheer enthusiasm. And I think that might last one more week. In fact, I think today he's not even enjoying it. You know, so here's some questions we got. Callum Robinson says, tenner in cash at the Christmas market. Where's it being spent? #HumanATM. You couldn't get a bloody hello for a tenner in the Christmas market, Callum. Let me tell you. I don't know if that's true. I haven't been in quite a while. I feel like Christmas market is good for a walkabout, but then like, unless you're going for a drink, like, you know, you get something like my girlfriend go, do you want to go for a walk around the Christmas market? I'm like, it's so small. Like, it would be in and out in 30 seconds, unless you're going to be in town for a reason. You know, I don't know. I haven't been in years, so maybe there's better stuff now. Maybe I should check it out. But I would probably get, back in the day, I would have got a crepe. I would have got a crepe with Nutella and banana, but now that I don't have dairy, I would probably get like a clogs or something, you know, and just clop my way through life. I don't know. #HumanATM. I like that, Callum. I wouldn't. You think I would? The Lord Mayor of Belfast is, and I don't even know who that is, but they literally phoned me to say, your money's no good here. And I said, where? And he or she said, everywhere. You know, they said, just smile and that's enough. So I wouldn't need to spend it, but I don't know, Callum. I'll maybe check the market out. I'll maybe check it out. But, maybe like paella? Do they do paella? Paella? David Blowie does Spanish lessons, which is weird. It's just straight up weird. Because he's not like 11 or whatever. But and he's not like moving to Spain imminently or anything. But he just studies. You gotta educate yourself. You've been educated. Well, you're educated in the Elephant Man today. I feel like next week we get an extra mic, and we have a bit of a chat because I think people are pretty keen to know. I'm keen to know why you're taking Spanish lessons. But Glenn Lindsay says it feels like you might be about to go on the run for something, and you need to know how to get by in this different country.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah? All right. Glenn Lindsay says, at what point does it become acceptable to listen to Christmas music? Hashtag countdown, hashtag good morning, hashtag manboydj. And then Kevin Pettigrew, the absolute bitch, comes straight in. Is it acceptable to listen to Christmas music? I think it is on like Christmas Eve. Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, barely on Boxing Day. If you're still doing that on Boxing Day, I feel like you might not be much crack. I think definitely on Christmas Day, no problem. And my favourite Christmas songs are E17, Stay Another Day. I like Fairy Tale in New York. I like Slade, Merry Christmas Everybody. I probably like 6 Christmas songs. I like Driving Home for Christmas. But if you're playing it now, like the people who are into Christmas now just have nothing else going on. They have nothing else between now and next year. May as well stick all this up, I think take Spanish lessons, do more things. I'm sorry for slagging it off about Spanish lessons, you're right. But I don't know. I mean, personally, I'll never put on Christmas music if it's my choice. I'm never going to be like, now that's what I call Christmas in the CD player. I'm listening to that rap. I listen to crunk shit. On Christmas Day, if I had my way, it'd be next episode. Mark Beggs, friend of the show, says, as the human ATM is fond of a good mug off, you've spelled favourite Dacarote? Have you a Dacarote type of mug? Or maybe Dacarote, some sort of luxury brand, and if it is, I would love to drink my tea out of a Dacarote mug. Imagine the ads. Dacarote. Do I have a favourite mug? Yes. I look like a guy who has a favourite mug. For sure. Yeah, I've got a favourite mug. I've got a Manchester United mug that I like to drink out of. Any football ground I go to, from now on, I get a mug. I've got a Manchester United one, a Leicester City one, a QPR one. I need some more. Send me mugs, and I don't mean mug me off. I don't mean send me people here to tell me like a relative's died or something. I mean send me like actual mugs I can drink out of. I hate this mug that Dave Elliott got made up for me of a picture of me. Not just a straight picture of me, not smiling, and no facial expression, and it just says keen for tea. Hashtag keen for tea on it. I've got a few favourite mugs. It depends what I'm going to have. Am I having tea? Am I having matcha tea? Am I having green tea? It varies, but yes, I do have a favourite mug. And then when I get my Decorite mug, that'll be my favourite. Nathan Quinn says, could we get Trini and Susanna to make a comeback for a makeover special for poor Arlene? Listen, I'll attack Arlene Foster for pretty much everything she stands for, and anyone in the DUP, or really anyone in a political party here, because everyone's just as bad. She's just as bad as everyone else. She's just as bad as everyone else, but like the RHI thing was like, she's just as bad as everyone else, but no one else took like hundreds of millions. But that's because they weren't in a position to do so, I'm not like, look, I'm not slagging off anybody's looks. I'm not in that game. I put myself in the shoes of someone like the Elephant Man. Don't slag people off, I think, for their looks. So, see, and to be fair, you're saying like about a makeover. I'll tell you this for free. I think Arlene did get a makeover once she became First Minister, and is wearing some pretty swagged out gear. And I know it's not a popular. You guys know my feelings on the DUP and anyone who stops my gay brothers and sisters having a gay marriage, but Homegirl has some pretty swagged out gear. That's all I'm saying. That's all. If I can say one thing for Arlene Foster, it's that some of her jackets and trouser suits would not have looked out of place on Freddie Mercury back in the day. So, fair play to her in that department. And Nathan, speaking of makeovers, big man, I'm looking at your profile picture and all I'm going to say is, I like to quiff the hair up as well, but take it down a notch, big guy. Alright? Because you look like you've been electrocuted. Fair play to you, though. But let's not slag off people's looks, alright? Cassie Malley says, time to get serious for a minute or two here. Thoughts on May's Brexit deal? Will she be able to push it through Parliament? Should there be a second referendum? Because seeing the thing that jumps out at me about that is, I don't give a fuck. You know? I'm gonna be real with you and just say, honestly, I don't care. I mentioned this in a podcast weeks ago. I don't read anything about politics. I don't know what's happening. I barely know what Brexit is. I don't know what the Brexit deal is. I don't know if there's going to be a second referendum. I don't know. I don't care. What's the point of me care? It's not gonna not happen because I care about it. Theresa May isn't going to get a phone call just as she's signing that deal in blood. You know, she's not going to get a phone call, and someone's going to go, Mrs. May, there's a phone call for you, Prime Minister, and she goes, oh, is it? I don't know how she talks. She's like, because I don't know anything about politics. She goes, oh, is it then? And he goes, it's the human ATM, Mom. It's Shane Todd. And she's like, what you want? And I go, here, that Brexit deal's not working for me. She's not going to go, all right then. You know, nope, I don't care. I'm not going to change anything. And I go, if everybody thought like that. But loads of people care about it, so I'll just let them care about it. David Blowie, you care about Brexit? Yeah, he does. Okay, so my point wasn't made there. I was hoping he would say no, but he cares. He's passionate about it. He literally has a sign in his hand right now that says referendum 2. I'll be back. Kasim, friend of the show, but honestly, I'm not just saying that to be a big man. I'm not acting a big man. I don't know anything about it, and I don't care. I'll just get on with it. Because, you know, in 50 years, probably I'll be dead. I'm spending my time Googling the Elephant Man. You know, I'm doing more important things, so I honestly don't care. I don't know what the situation is. I mean, I'll start, if it's bad for me in any way, I'll start to get very passionate about it. And I probably will organise some sort of protest, but as long as I can keep doing stand-up, I don't care. Richard Ward, if you weren't a comedian, what would you be? That's a good question. I think I'd be a writer still. I'm like a comedian writer, but you just say comedian. Because I write, obviously, my own stuff and write some script type things, but I think I'd be a writer if you were taking me out of that industry altogether. Like media, for example, if I couldn't do any of that. I think I'd probably like sell helicopters or something. You know, I'd probably, like, what's the thing you can make the most commission on to sell it? I would sell that. Like planes. I'd be a plane salesman. Because I used to work in a call centre and I was pretty good at selling like raffle tickets for charities. So if you can sell one thing, you can sell anything. And if you want to use that as a quote for Harvard Business School and say I said it, no problem. Here's how it works, right? Here's how it works. Wolf of Wall Street. Blowie. Do you like that cup?
Yeah.
Do you have one of these?
Yeah.
Oh, you already have one. All right. Don't always work, you see, because he has exactly the same mug. And then sometimes you got to know, pull out of the deal. And that's the art of business. And I just think I could sell people planes. I ring you up. Hello. Hi, how's it going, mate? Listen, would you be interested in buying a plane? No, mate, not at all. I'm a gardener. You know, I'm just a gardener. I go, no worries. Well, give me a shout if you're ever looking to buy a plane. If that guy then wins a lottery at some point, who do you think he's giving a phone call to? Me, David Plane. Because I make magic deals helping with planes. And that's the opening bit of banter I have when I'm trying to sell someone a plane. Palm MG, just put your own name there, says, who do you think would win the fight? Or nah, we're not doing any more political questions. We're here to forget about it. Okay? We're here to talk about literally nothing. That's a level that this podcast is out. What does Shane Todd talk about in his podcast? Nothing. He just really rambles on. That's what it is. We're getting people are getting too angry about politics. We're not doing any political stuff. This is more like it. James Wilkinson, battered sausage or battered fish supper? That's more like it. Now, that's a difficult one. It really depends on the mood. You cannot beat. Here's the thing. If I'm in the inner city, battered sausage. Inner city, in an urban area, I'm having a battered sausage supper because sausages are more native to this city. But if I'm by the sea or by the coast, fish supper every time. Absolutely a fish supper. I would never have a fish, for example, I never have a fish supper in a housing estate. And I would never have a sausage supper, by a pier, so it really depends on my location. Both are good. I haven't had a battered sausage supper in a while, but I respect the battered sausage. Dan Breen, should ecstasy be made available in the NHS for anyone who doesn't get the kind of Brexit deal they wanted? Yeah. Sure. I think so, yeah. I think realistically nearly everything should be made legal. Because, if you want ecstasy, right, why can't you have it? Because you're allowed to have alcohol, you're allowed to have cigarettes. Yeah, if you really want it, I think you should be able to have it. Don't drive a bus after you have it or anything. I think that's a point where I'd be like, nah, that's not on, but sure. Gibber says, podcast question, when do you expect to see gains from all this PTing? You motherfucker. All right. Gibbers, don't be talking about gains, my man. Alright? Don't be talking about gains. Because I'm checking you out right now, mister. And to make the same joke again, you're David Gain. Casting a magic spell over Five Guys. No, I'm just saying. When do I expect to see gains? I'm not a gains guy. I'm more of a shredded. I'm more of Shreddy Mercury. I'm Shreddy Mercury. I'm just about keeping it low percent body fat, keeping it tight, keeping it ripped. And that's the burden that I have. Just being a ripped Richard. Shreddy Mercury. I don't eat enough to get gains. And I know you know this because you asked me a question before and you replied. I can see it above saying, I didn't know you had Crohn's disease and now I feel heartless. Well, be prepared to feel that way again because that's why I struggle to have gains, because I've got Crohn's disease. And I just want to say, man, I'm still able to bench 200 kg. I'm still able to... Yeah, you're looking at me like, really? Yeah. I don't even know if that's good. I'm squatting 300. But I don't know if that's... I don't really work out. And deadlifting 400. I don't even know if that's good. I do... Here's the thing though. I do a rep a week. I don't know if that's good either. But I'll walk in, doof, drop it down, and I'm out once a week. That's my key to it. Gibbard, I don't know if you're joking. I don't know if you're saying, man, you're so lean. When are you going to add a little bit of gravy to that party? Maybe I'll do that next year. Maybe I up the calories. But at the minute, in my situation, I'm very happy with my body. I kind of look like a ripped kid. I look like a strong child. I look like a 13-year-old strong man. That's exactly what I look like. And I'll take that every day of the week. Looking like some sort of... Looking like the strongest guy at P7 Sports Day. So, I expect to see that result tomorrow. Matthew Mernon says, great show on Friday, sir. You didn't need to say that's a given. But what's the worst type of behaviour? To be sitting near a comedy, a bad laugh, a punchline repeater, or something else? Hashtag waterfront next year. Hashtag private box. Hashtag blessed. Matthew Mernon coming back in with some good chat this week, as opposed to last week when he just admitted to being a stalker. And Matthew is in McGabry now, so I don't know how he's got a phone in there. to ask that question, or maybe they're giving the boys internet use for an hour a week. Thanks for coming to the show. Appreciate that, Matthew. I don't know, the worst behaviour, being a punter, I think the worst is, I don't mind a laugh. Somebody has a mad laugh, and there was someone doing that on Friday, and there was someone doing that on Saturday. They might have been the same person. But a punchline repeater, I would say, is worse. Definitely. Yeah, punchline repeater. If I'm in the audience, also, someone who's just drunk to the point where they don't know how they're coming across and they're being disruptive, probably that. As for Waterfront next year, listen, there's options there. Maybe I'll do the Ulster Hall. Maybe I'll do the Waterfront. Maybe I'll do the Seacat live show over to Stranraer. Maybe I'll do the Giants Causeway. I'm crazy, I say. I might play anywhere. You never know what I'll do. All I'm saying is, some venues are getting in touch, mainly to say you don't come back. Certainly one big venue, as I mentioned 3 weeks ago, said, nah bro, we don't have any spots for 2019. And the promoter said, just to clarify, no shows for 2019. And the venue went, yes. And the promoter went, you sure? And the venue's like, just to clarify again, just to stress for Shane Todd, no shows for 2019. But I think they got a policy against making money. They don't like making cash. They don't want the human ATM on site, just dispensing them £50 notes, but that's their thing. I don't know, Waterfront next year. Waterfront feels really, really big. And I've seen some great things at the Waterfront, but Ulster Hall feels like it's on the verge of big enough, where like the laughs kind of stay in the room and it feels intimate enough at the same time being 1,000 people. So I don't know. I need to think about that. We've got 2 questions left. Giles Strutt, what a great name, Giles Strutt, says, how did you celebrate after the show on Saturday? I saw you went in the Rager after the show on Friday with a bottle of juice. Did you have Hawaiian shorts and another arm top on too? That's very in-jokey about the show. So I think a lot of people that were there will go, oh, why? How did I celebrate on Saturday? I did go out. I went over to Pug Uglies. They reserved some tables for me upstairs, and I had one drink. I had all the intentions in the world to get drunk and go on a mad one, and I had one drink, went home, watched Match of the Day, had half a Magners at home, and went to bed. This is how we do. Dun, 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 dun. And I had some toast. Do you have any more? Any more? Yeah. I said anything to talk about, and Steve-O says Badgers. Nah, I got nothing to say. In that. Okay, can't read that out. And my last question is Chris Barber, who I don't even think this podcast question, but he goes, I had a show on Blast 106 on a Sunday called Sunday Night Live, and would you be interested in a phone interview? And I go, yeah, no worries. So, yep, I'll do that. That's this week's podcast, guys. What I want you to do is tell people who maybe didn't get to the Ulster Hall shows that Monday, the 3rd of December, the Accidental Theatre, doing a little intimate small show, and it's going to be recorded, and that's going to be this year's film special. And I've got a crack team of guys behind the camera who are going to make that look really sweet. Tickets are on shine.net, so you can let people know about that. Also, it's just about to be sold out, so maybe show the next night, but that's just between us. You don't tell anyone about that. Listen to the Boytown podcast me and Dave Elliott do every Thursday. It comes out in Audio Boom. We've got a live show coming up also in the Accidental Theatre. I'll be posting about that. Check out Dave Elliott's Weird podcast, but don't subscribe to it. Just listen once, and that's enough. But whatever you do not subscribe to it. Aaron Butler also has a little podcast there as well that's called the Aaron Butler Podcast. And that's just Aaron Butler being Aaron Butler. So, thank you very much for listening. Thank you to David Blowie, who knows what he's going to be called next week. Is there a North Peak Media website? No. No, there isn't. But maybe you want to follow. Maybe you're into golf. Maybe you're listening to this and you're going, I like golf. I go, what do you like? And you go, pussy and golf. And if you're into one of those two things, golf, follow Colvin Golf. Kolvin. Is that right? Shane posts some very sexy pictures out on the golf course. And we're going to do something together really soon of me playing golf. And you know what that will be? Funny, but not aesthetically great at golf. I'm just bad at golf. Thank you very much for listening. Subscribe, iTunes. This video podcast comes out, I'm going to say every Thursday maybe, or Friday or something. But hey, enjoy it. And just a shout out to the Elephant Man one more time. Rest easy, big guy.